Hello, it's Dave here again and welcome to episode number 8 of this series where we're looking at learning the basics of music theory easily step by step. In this lesson we're going to be going over chord functions. You've now learned an awful lot about the basics of music theory, including the notes within keys and how we can turn those keys into chords, and we've even extended those chords into seventh chords. Having all of these chord options means that you now have more of an insight into what chords can work together. One of the misconceptions about learning music theory is that you are learning a bunch of rules that you will always use to make music with. Music doesn't really have any rules apart from the rules that we perceive the music to have. For example, in art, we know what colours will work well together, but it's up to the person that's making the picture to decide what they want to make. Each chord within a key has what we call a function. We base these functions off of the root chord of our scale. There are 3 particular functions or chord types. You can break this down even further if you like and get more advanced about chord functions, but for the purposes of this lesson series, we're going to stick to these 3 as they're a good place to start. Knowing a bit about chord functions can help you to find the right chord for the job when you are writing music. It can even help you to figure out what a chord is in a piece of music that you're trying to learn. If you're trying to figure a song out by ear, you might be able to use these chord functions to help you to find the right chord. The 3 chord functions that we're looking at are called the tonic, the subdominant, and the dominant functions. We're going to use the key of C as our example again, and we're going to go through the chords of the key of C now and determine which chords belong to which function. So tonic chords. Now the tonic chords within a key are the chords that provide the most stable and the most resolved sound. As I said in a previous lesson in this series, it's good to keep in mind the idea of tension and release. Some notes and chords are going to provide more of a tense sound and an unresolved sound, and some are going to provide more of a resolved and a more stable sound. If you wanted a more resolved and a more stable sound, then the tonic chords are the chords that provide that sound. Because a tonic chord has a really resolved and stable sound, this means that the notes that are used within tonic chords must relate to the key's tonal centre. The tonal centre is going to be the 1 chord. So in our example key of C major, the C major chord is derived from that C note. It's derived from that tonal centre of C. In this key, the C major chord, or the C major 7 chord, is going to sound the most resolved. I like to see this chord as sounding like it's coming home. It's like a home base. Now the C major 7 chord has the notes C, E, G and B. There are other chords within the key that share a lot of the same notes. This means that they will also be considered as tonic chords because they are closely related to the key centre, the tonal centre of C. The 3 chord E minor 7, this has the notes E, G, B and D. This shares 3 of the same notes as the C major 7 chord. So this is closely related to the tonal centre of the key of C as well. So this also has the home kind of feeling to it, which means it's also a tonic chord. The 6 chord, A minor 7, this has the notes A, C, E and G. This also shares 3 of the same notes as C major 7. So this also closely relates to the tonal centre of C, which means that the 6th chord, A minor 7, is also a tonic chord. So these 3 chords, C major or C major 7, E minor or E minor 7, or A minor 7, are our 3 tonic chords, and they're the most stable sounding chords within the key. And this works for any key, so no matter what key it is, it's going to be the 1, 3 and 6 chord are our tonic chords. Subdominant chords. So subdominant chords are chords that are used to precede dominant chords or are used to move away from tonic chords. I like to think of these chords as being like moving chords. They always feel like they're moving to somewhere else. The subdominant chords within a key are the 2 chord and the 4 chord. So in the key of C major that we're using, we have the chord D minor or D minor 7 and the chord F major or F major 7. And they are our subdominant chords. Dominant chords. So dominant chords are the least stable sounding chords. These chords sound like they want to or need to move somewhere else. You will often find that a dominant chord will be followed by a tonic chord. This isn't always the case. I mean, these are not rules. These are just little nuggets of information that you can use so you can find the right chord that you're looking for. If you go from a C major chord to a G chord or a G7 chord, you will find that it does feel like it wants you to go back to a C chord, or maybe to an A minor or an E minor. It feels like it's pulling you in that direction. The main dominant chord within a key is the 5 chord. Now, when we actually just in the last section, we went through 4-note chords, the 5 chord did actually turn into what we call a dominant 7th chord. So that kind of fits with this whole function idea, that the 5 chord is a dominant chord. There is one other chord within a key that is a dominant chord, and it's a chord that is not used as often. And this is the 7th chord within a key. So the 7th chord within a key is going to be the diminished chord, or if you make it into a 4-note chord, the minor 7 flat 5 chord, also known as the half diminished chord. So in the key of C, that would be the B minor 7 flat 5, or B diminished. And again, if you play this chord, it will feel like it wants to go to C or E minor or A minor because it wants to pull you towards a tonic chord. Like I said before, this chord isn't used very often in popular music. It is used sometimes and it does have its place, but it isn't used that often. So now you know a little bit about how the chord functions within a key. Maybe give it a try sometime. You might find it's that chord that you are looking for a particular piece of music that you're writing. This means that in the key of C, our dominant chords are the G major chord, or the G major 7 chord, because that's our 5 chord. And we've also got the 7th chord, which is the B diminished chord. If we make that into a 4-note chord, that will be the B half diminished chord, or also known as the B minor 7 flat 5 chord. Let's take a look at a common chord progression in the key of C. So I'm going to use the same chord progression that I've used a few times within this lesson series. So we're going to have the 1 chord to the 3 chord, to the 4 chord to the 5 chord. In C, that's C major, E minor, F major, G major. Let's hear how that sounds. Now, function-wise, so now we've got a tonic chord, which is the 1 chord, going to another tonic chord, which is the 3 chord, and you see that sounds very stable. We'll go to subdominant, so it sounds like it's moving somewhere else, to a dominant chord, which feels like it's pulling us back to a tonic chord. Now, either way, just use your ears. If the chord progression sounds good, it sounds good. But just having a little bit of an understanding of the chord's functions can help you to choose which chords you want. Now, in another example in another video, we also did a thing where we changed the first chord to the relative minor, which was A minor, the 6th chord, there we go. And what I've done there is, all I've done is replaced one of the tonic chords with one of the tonic chords. So I could actually go to an E minor. You see, it just gives you a few different options, just knowing those functions. So all I did there was replace the tonic chord that I was using for the start of the chord progression, and I went through all 3 of the tonic chords. I did C, which was a tonic chord, to E minor, F to G. I then changed it to A minor, which is the 6th chord, also a tonic chord, to E minor to F to G. Then I tried E minor, also a tonic chord, stayed on E minor for bar 2, because that's the 3 chord as we already had, to F to G. And all 3 of those chord progressions sounded great together. They could all be used in a song with no problem. You could also change some other chords, some other chord functions. So let's say in that same chord progression, if I had C major, tonic chord, E minor, tonic chord, F major, subdominant, so that's a moving chord, it's moving to the G chord, the dominant. Now I'm going to change that subdominant to the D minor chord. So I'm on E minor, the tonic chord, now subdominant. You see, it's got the similar vibe because the functions are the same. And it's just useful to know this, so I could change the entire thing, and I could even just be creative with my chord progression now, and I could say verse, same progression, C, E minor, F to G. And then I could think, right, I'm just going to go a bit strange, let's see if this works. I'm going to go A minor, so I'm changing one tonic to the next tonic. I'm going to stay on E minor, then I'm going to go to D minor, maybe even D minor 7. And then, just for the sake of trying it, I'm going to try a B half diminished and see if that brings us back to C. So I'm going to treat that as verse C, E minor, F, G. Pre-chorus, I'm going to go A minor, E minor, D minor, B half diminished. Let's see how that sounds. So I'll call first one chord progression 1, and I'll tell you when I'm going to chord progression 2. So chord progression 1. And we'll go straight into chord progression 2. mean, I personally didn't really like that B half diminished sound, but it worked. Knowing a little bit about these chord functions can help you to make decisions, and having a grounding of this knowledge can really help you when you want to look up more advanced topics. That's everything that I want to cover in this lesson about chord functions. I do hope that you have enjoyed this series about learning the basics of music theory. I know that I've really enjoyed making them. As I've said in every one of these videos, there is a book that accompanies this series, so if you want to check that out, go to the link in the description box below for information about that. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I plan to upload onto this channel. And once again, thank you so much for watching this series, it really is appreciated. If you do have any questions about anything, just drop us a comment in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.